Drilling and epoxying new light pole anchor bolts is a common solution for correcting incorrect bolt patterns, bolts set too short, or dealing with rusted or damaged bolts. Check out our anchor bolt adapters and thread extenders along with other tech tips like how to remove rusted nuts, how to clean and repair rusted anchor bolts, and how to install thread extenders. It may be possible to salvage the anchor bolts and footing. Links are provided in the description below. This video is an overview. Always adhere to local codes and follow product manufacturer's recommendations. To drill and epoxy new anchor bolts, you will need the following tools. Begin by cleaning any debris and loose dry pack off the footing to ensure a clean, flat area to work with. To ensure the new anchor bolt holes are drilled in the correct location, we recommend using a template or the base plate of the new pole. Next, use the existing anchor bolts to secure a drilling template or mark the drill hole locations and cut off the old bolts. Use a template to make sure your new bolt pattern matches the new light pole. Keep the new pattern in the same bolt circle if possible to avoid hitting rebar. Check with the epoxy manufacturer for hole requirements. The standard is 1/8 inch larger than the bolt. Drill holes to depth according to epoxy instructions. We recommend drilling about 12 inches deep. Use a shop vac with a dust extractor to control dust. Blow excess debris out of holes using the air nozzle and dust extractor. Brush the holes using a long handle bristle brush. Repeat blow and brush steps until no more dust comes out of the holes. It is important to make sure the holes are clean so the epoxy bonds to the clean concrete. Recheck all holes again when done cleaning the last hole. Measure the length of the awl thread needed and cut the rod to length per hole to ensure proper thread projection. You can do this by inserting the rod into the hole and allowing 3.5 to 4 inches of thread above the footing. Mark your cut point, and it is a good idea to label each rod so you know which hole they go into, or cut one rod at a time. Check your light pole spec sheet to confirm the required thread projection. For epoxy, we recommend the Simpson Strong Tie Set 3G epoxy. It's cost-effective and readily available at Home Depot and other local hardware stores. The Simpson Strong Tie Set 3G is a direct replacement for the discontinued Set XP. In most cases, use half a tube for each 3/4 inch bolt hole and 2/3 tube for each 1 inch bolt hole. Other manufacturers like Hilti offer similar epoxies with similar application steps. When first using a new epoxy tube, ensure both chambers of the epoxy are cut open. Dispense a small amount of epoxy into the trash to ensure both parts are mixing evenly. Apply epoxy into each hole, filling it 1/2 to 2/3 full, starting from the bottom up to prevent air bubbles. If in a cold climate, preheat the epoxy to at least 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, put the rod in its appropriate hole. Slowly insert the bolt into the hole, twisting counterclockwise to push epoxy into the bottom of the hole. Hold the bolt in the hole for about 5 seconds to let the epoxy settle and prevent the bolt from pushing out. A small amount of epoxy should spill out of the hole and dome around the bolt. Let the epoxy cure. See epoxy instructions for cure time, ranging from 24 hours at 70 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer, up to 192 hours in 40 degrees Fahrenheit. If there is excess bolt, it can be cut off after epoxy cures. The bolt should not be cut until the epoxy has fully cured because vibrations from cutting can create pockets in the wet epoxy and will reduce its strength. Once the epoxy has cured, install the pole like normal. When tightening the anchor nuts, set all leveling nuts level and hold the leveling nut with a wrench to avoid applying more than the maximum torque to the epoxy bolt. Install the pole, top washers, and anchor nuts like normal. In the case that not all existing anchor bolts need to be replaced, we can add an additional anchor bolt for more support. If the pole base has extra holes for additional anchor bolts, we can use the pole base as a template and drill a new hole where needed. The new anchor bolt will take over the load of the failed anchor bolt. This can be done without removing the pole or failed anchor bolt. Apply epoxy into the hole like before, then install the new rod by holding a washer and leveling nut under the pole base and threading the rod all the way down through the hole. This does take additional time, but allows a pole to be set the same day. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe and share it with others who might find it beneficial. To learn more about Light Pole Systems products or view our tech tips, visit our website or give us a call. Light Pole Systems, specializing in light pole solutions.